you who desperately want to know, I do use notes, so I'm not memorizing everything because that would be ridiculous. Guys, and welcome to my channel, and today we are going to be doing a script slam where I discuss one Bible verse in 3 minutes. The Bible verse I've chosen today is actually one of the shortest verses in the Bible, and it's from John chapter 11 verse 35, and all it is Jesus wept. Now, for saying how small a verse it is doesn't mean it's insignificant. In fact, by looking at this short sentence, we can unpack a lot about Jesus' life. So, let's get into this. For those of you who don't know where this verse is from, it's actually from the story of Jesus raising Lazarus from the dead. Now, for those of you who don't know, Lazarus is a very good friend of Jesus, and unfortunately he passed away. So Jesus goes to visit his family, his sisters, both Mary and Martha, and joins the mourners and grieves. Seems normal, right? But this isn't any ordinary man. This is Jesus. Jesus, in fact, came to the funeral to raise Lazarus from the dead. Now, with that in mind, you would think Jesus would be really cool, really calm, really collective, like snapping his fingers like, death, you ain't got no control on me. But he cried, and why? And this is the question we're going to unpack today. So, my first point is, Jesus was human. He had compassion, he had empathy. And yet, while it's true that Jesus could have healed Lazarus from a distance, Jesus delayed his coming for a reason, to glorify God in what he was going to do next. But this doesn't mean that Jesus had no grief for his friend. In fact, in this verse, we see a glimpse of how a father feels grief when his children are faced with suffering. Jesus hates the fact that the people around him and Lazarus himself had to encounter death. Doesn't that just show that Jesus isn't this judgmental robot? He is in fact both human and fully God at the same time. He understands everything we've gone through. Everything. He came down onto this earth to experience what we're experiencing. He is not a God that doesn't know how you feel. The second point is that sin grieves God deeply, and the consequence of sin is death. And Jesus understood this, and he hated the fact that it had inflicted those he loved. The third and final point is the cost of redemption. Essentially, Jesus purchased Lazarus' short-term resurrection and everlasting life. In fact, Lazarus' resurrection is a symbol of God's grace, and how God can look past all of our wrongdoings and give us life when previously we deserved death. You have to remember is that the cross actually wasn't far away from this point, and Jesus knew that. His tears were a mixture of turmoil of what was going to happen and a lot of love. His tears contained the love for all of us, so much so that he would be willing to take our place on that cross. What was meant for us, he took on himself. This is what Christianity is about. It's not an elite club for the self-righteous, but it's a family full of broken people united under God's grace. And that's all I wanted to say for you guys. It got really deep there, but I'm so grateful for you guys watching these things, and I hope you learned lots. Please give this a like, a subscribe, and also share it. I'd be so grateful. See you guys later. Bye.